welcome to The Truth in This Art. I am your host, Rob Lee, and today I'm chatting with the owner-operator of Cheezy Mike's Food Emporium, a food stall serving cheese-focused upscale comfort food. Please welcome Mike Boggs. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, what's going on, Rob?
Thanks for coming through. Like when you say cheese, when cheese is in your name, you know, your boy Rob Lee, whose birthday I believe is on National Cheese Day. You know, I gotta reach out. I gotta chat with you.
When is National Cheese Day? Be honest with you.
Apparently, it's January 20th. Apparently, that's the day.
There gotta be so many different national days of something every day now.
Most of them are BS. I feel like it's just like big marketing, you know.
Yeah, there was something weird. I don't remember. Whatever. I can't remember. It was some weird National Hot Dog Day or something like that.
I think today is Pie Day or what have you, right? As we're recording this in 3/14.
Yeah, that's funny.
So I want to start off with getting the those vital stats for those who are undipped. Describe your work and why'd you decide to open Cheezy Mike's?
It was a concept that me and my business partner had thought about during the pandemic. I was moonlighting as a DJ before we decided to do this. But the pandemic kind of took that all away, so I was sitting at home, just basically making concept menu with different items and all that stuff, trying to find a spot. We actually just made a call at the Mount Vernon Marketplace, and they had an opening, so we went over there and just made it. We went through the whole process and everything, and it took a while because of the pandemic. They weren't allowed to have people inside and all that stuff. But anyway, we're a small food stall, about 250 square feet. We have just a combi oven that we use to cook all of our food, so it takes a lot of prep, and it's basically like pub grub with a cheese focus, more like your remix of a local carry out joint. Yeah. Instead, it's better quality food than your typical corner carry out. If you ever catch my drift, it's like sometimes you get a greasy cheesesteak that's just like not good. Yeah, and so I'm trying to do it my little bit of way to improve that type of food, because nobody, even though, I mean, everybody deserves to eat good. You know what I'm saying? I'm not eating crap food like that. I don't know. So yeah, that's pretty much what we do over there. We're open 6 days a week. We'll close on Mondays. We stay open late on Fridays and Saturdays to like 10 o'clock, but we open daily at 12.
I dig it. So, reading that it's that focus, as you said, like pub grub, comfort food. So what food comforts you? When you think of like a comfort food, what comes to mind for you? And like, what are some of those staples? And lastly, for you, where do the recipes come from? Is it from like experience? Is it from like, this is something we used to make in college? Like, what's that situation?
Yeah, I've been a cook I've been in the hospitality business for 25 years, and I've been done nightclub management, cooking, DJ, all that stuff, bartending, and I just over those years just had stuff in my head that I always wanted to try. So our staples at Cheezy Mike's, it's like we have small plates for people that want something lighter than a big giant meal. Like our cheesesteak egg rolls are our top seller. We also have our we got like pretzel dog bites, something like that. Just like drink beer and eat pretzel hot dogs and stuff sounds like a good deal to me sometimes. We also have empanadas, kind of more of Americano empanada, but people love it. And then if you're really hungry, we do have 3 different types of grilled cheeses. All of them, all the 3 grilled cheeses we have are vegetarian, so there's no meat in them. And then we have the cheesesteak egg rolls, which is like a smaller version of the plates that we have there, and then we also have the French dip, which is more of a cheesesteak variant, but it's just meat and cheese and a nice crispy baguette, and it goes, and you dip it into, I call it meat juice or meat soup. So it's called au jus for French terms of it. And all those recipes are in my head. And as far as food that's comforting, if the food is good, it's always going to comfort me. Always.
I dig it. I dig it. Yeah, I mean, I think if you have an interest in food and you know what tastes good and what flavors go together, it's just that opportunity has to come about, and that's kind of what I look for sometimes. Like, I've always kind of been like one of these guys that I'm a food nerd. You know, it's like I take an interest, and it's like, oh, this is how this goes together. And sometimes you get experimenting in the kitchen. You're like, okay, all right, let's figure this out. And then I would imagine, as a business owner, you have to make like certain choices that you're like, all right, this is a really good idea. I don't know if it fits to scale. Yeah. So tell me about that.
Well, we do specials that are kind of off concept sometimes, but we make sure our menu is consistent with the kitchen that we have, because like I said, we have a very small kitchen. A very small copy of it that I do all the cooking, and it's all short order. We have to get that thing pretty much out there. So it's a lot of it's not your traditional kitchen. We don't have a fryer. I have an Instant Pot that I use to make sauces. A steam table that holds all of the other sauces all day long. Yeah, and it's not your typical traditional kitchen, but I make it work. That's one of my best traits. I'm very resourceful, so we make it work. It's very well. I would love to have a full kitchen. I mean, sky's the limit from that. But did I answer that question correctly?
No. No, you had it. You had it, and it's funny because I saw the prep. I came by. I was there on Friday, and I just saw you just working, and I was like, I'm not even going to interrupt my man. I turned around and left out. I was like, I will talk to him next week. But it was one of those things where, because I respect the grind, and I respect like the prep work. Like when people are doing it and you're working and being resourceful, it's just like, look, I'm chopping up 1,000 whatevers. Like I've seen people do their chicken, they're doing like empanadas or what have you, not just in other people I know, and you're like, all right, you got a knife in your hand. Let me not interrupt you with my BS.
You could have said hi, man. I would have said something.
I was like, yo, Mike.
I would have turned around like, who's that?
I need an order now. But it's. I think what is in there in the space that you're operating in there. It's so many different options of different things, and I'm generally a creature of a person that's a creature of habit. So I go to the same places, but I find that I don't do that there. And it's just like I'll be between two buns at one point, and I'll go to the brown rice, and then I'll go to pinch, and I'm just hitting different spots in there. And it's just like, what's the taste? Fishnet is my go-to at this point, and the bomber all the time.
Yeah, I love that catfish over there. I just eat the catfish. I don't try to eat a lot too much bread. Yeah, but that catfish is on point.
Absolutely. So as a chef, tell me about like when it comes to your food and how you present your food. Really, what do you want people to take from it? And I think it has to do with that comfort piece, but what do you want people to take from it? Because you touched on earlier, people should have good food. Really.
We put a lot of effort into it. I put a lot of effort to it, and presentation's always key for me. We always put like some microgreens on top of things. Always, just presentation's always key. Keep coming back. It's like this guy's putting in effort with the food, and we want to keep that consistent as possible. Yeah, and that's pretty much the standard. I mean, they'll come back,
and people eat with their eyes too. Like, you can have something that's very tasty, done very well, but if the presentation is off, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes people buy with their eyes, and it's funny because they see the food come out. Once they see it on their plate, they're like, "Whoa, I bought too much." So, they'll be one in the box to take it home. But sometimes I see people kill it, but it's mostly like, wow, it's a lot of food.
I've gone to different restaurants or what have you, and I'll sit there and I'll see something come out. I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm like, whoa, can I get that too? Like, what did they get? Based on what it looks like.
We get that a lot. So it was like, well, who's Cheezy Mike? Some people that go to their marketplace, they stay on one side of the building, and sometimes they'll come back around like and see what's going on over here. It was like, oh, I didn't know this was back here. I've been coming here for years. I'm like, well, here we are.
Yeah,
Try us out.
Pull up, get a sandwich. What are you doing? So also, you touched on earlier the background and being a DJ or what have you for quite some time. Tell me about that shift to, kind of focusing a bit more. And I think you were touching on it earlier. Just you were doing that moonlighting thing, and it made sense to kind of open up this concept. So, like, what was the thinking in going there? Or was it something that you're like, I really want to do more of the kitchen stuff? Well, tell me about that.
DJ was always my thing. I always wanted to do it. That was part of moving up to Baltimore, going to cooking school. I did it. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to do it at that time. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, a lot of cooks don't get paid very well. So I had to find another hustle, and just working during the days, cooking, and then going moonlighting 2-3 times a week to DJ at bars all over the city. I think I've covered every single part of the city. And I did that for a while. I still do. I still love it. I just don't have time for it right now. I try to stay in the loop far as with the DJ culture and the crowds and all that stuff. I think I might get a little too old to go to bars now. But,
aren't we all?
I think that the whole pandemic really changed the game with people going online and streaming and stuff. That's kind of where I want to be these days. So, work on the business. I just do DJ for fun now. I mean, it's not more of I'm not relying on that income anymore. So it's just great. And I play all types of stuff.
I dig it.
All different types of genre. So
so you have that background. I think is rather unique as a like a veteran DJ and a chef that you've been doing your thing for quite some time and having the food, the cooking school knowledge. So share a piece of advice you provide to someone interested in going in either or kind of making that pivot and focusing on a set of skills that might be a little different than other, because you have like chef and you have the DJ, and those things don't seem like they really complement each other all the time.
No, you don't have you got to juggle time a lot. Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, please.
Well, as far as chef is concerned, it takes a lot of work. It's you really to be dedicated and stand on your feet a long time, and you always got to believe in yourself and your product. And something I'm still always working on constantly with myself is taking constructive criticism, and not everybody's going to like your food or something like that, and I have to work on that sometimes, and that's part of the game as well. But if you continue to prove yourself, all the good positive will outweigh that negative. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so don't always follow the recipes that you. Even if it's on paper, you have to tinker with things here and there to improve the product. That's something that comes along with tasting and just repetition. I don't know. There's a lot of adjectives to it. It's a lot of stuff.
It's one of those things I've heard from people where you'd be surprised, like not you obviously, but people would be surprised that somebody's cooking doesn't taste their own food. Sometimes it's like, you need to know what you're doing. Like, what are you making?
Well, yeah, that's weird. It is. No, it's not weird. It's kind of common with chefs. You cooking food all day long and you taste it and it's like, okay, it's good, but you don't really eat.
Yeah.
And then you get home and you're starving and you're eating like ramen noodles and stuff,
Yeah.
I normally do that. That's what I do.
I do.
Junk food, and I guess like, damn, I should have ate one of those corned beef sandwiches. Sort of bought it home, but I'm like, I don't even want to make it.
Man, I just want a Snickers right now. So what surprises you, like from your vantage point in having the stall? What surprises you about like consumers' dining habits? What have you? Like, do they like try to pair what you're doing with like a other stand? You see a lot of like, yo, why do you have that juice with this? This is not going to work for you, sir. Like, tell me about some of the dining habits that you've seen from your vantage point.
Well, people have their weird habits, and that's fine. I'm not going to sit there and judge whatsoever. So I'm just The answer to that question, I wrote it down. Hold on.
I like how you read. You definitely prepped. I was like,
I did.
did you? I was like, how much did you write?
I did prep. I did write it. I did it all in like an hour. I was sitting here like, all right, let's write this down. Anyway, but I don't really. Nothing really surprised me. My goal is to keep them coming back and trying different foods, and as more people come and eat at Cheezy Mike's, that's the good habit I want from our guests, and we keep on building. And I can have more equipment to do other things. I don't know. That was a trick. I mean, not trick question. That was kind of a tough question for me to answer. So I want the consumers. I'm not going to be judging them whatsoever.
No. I think there's no judgment in it. But I think like, what do those pairings look like is what I look for. So like, sometimes I'll find that I go there and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get like a sandwich from between two buns. I'm gonna get a burger or what have you.
Yeah.
I might get like the tots from over there, like fish. Now I might be making my own like curated menu based on the different stalls there.
So a lot of the guests do like French fries and like potatoes. Yeah. I don't have
a fryer. Yeah.
I don't have a fryer. I don't have that luxury to make it. Plus, I don't want to be stepping on everybody else's toes because the whole plan at the marketplace is to not have the same stuff at different places. Yeah. So, so there's more choices. Yeah. Instead of everybody, this person has French fries, this person has French fries, this person has French fries.
Yeah. But these are Cheezy Mike's fries. Like, what are you saying, guys?
I serve my sandwiches with kettle chips and pickle slice. And the sandwich is basically the star, not the French fries or that. You know what I'm saying?
I dig it. Yeah. So let's see. Tell me about who comes to mind? Like, what comes to mind in terms of a memorable meal? And I know that's.
Let me get started.
Yeah, that could be a challenge. But tell me about a memorable meal and give me those details.
Dude, I have wrote this down. There's a lot of memorable meals. I love all types of food, but like Ethiopian food is like if I'm on it. I mean, if I feel like it, that's probably memorable every single time. I just love eating it. I can't eat it all the time, but it's delicious. Also, Ikiban and bird chicken. Those are my favorite chicken spots. I know there's other ones. I'm missing some, but I mean, those two are mine. Lobster rolls from Maine, or Maine lobster rolls. Anywhere they have them, I'm getting one. Also, me and my wife have traveled a lot, so I had escargot for lunch at a cafe in Paris once, top notch.
That's dope.
You know escargot, right? Snails.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It was delicious. And, every little kiosk they got over there in Europe with they're selling these freshly made Emmentaler and ham sandwiches. So good. They're on point.
Sounds great.
Just like slightly spread of mustard, and I'm just like, I'm all over it. And it's like at the train station or their convenience store considered a 7-Eleven. They got better food, convenience store food over there, fresh food, that processed stuff. And also, I've been in Austria once for like a hot second, and they had hot dog stands everywhere, and their hot dogs were awesome. Also, Sunday roast at Ireland and in the UK were memorable meals. Lamb roast with Yorkshire pudding and I don't know, a whole bunch of stuff. I like all types of stuff. And king crab legs is, if I can get a good price on king crab legs, I'm eating them joints every single day. I'm telling you.
That's dope. That's dope. I like that. And I do that too, because I heard a lot of travel with like the food, like that memory, those memories are attached in that way. Yeah. I like that. And, the last place I actually traveled was like Rhode Island. And I just remember, in Providence, and there are a lot of like cooking schools up there. So this hospitality industry is pretty big up there. Yeah. And just, I definitely had lobster rolls right before everything kind of started going up in price. Oh yeah. And I was like, there's so much butter in this. I was like, this is amazing.
They have the lobster rolls are so good, but the more the price, the smaller the sandwich gets. And
that's what I noticed. Yeah,
it's like sliders now. It's not even a big sandwich.
It's like
mostly bread.
Yeah, it's just like this is great toast, but still, can we do something different?
And more lobster, please.
And I mean, like, I kind of pin those things together. So, like, my favorite place to go is, in terms of travel, is like New Orleans. And I haven't really traveled much outside of the country, but New Orleans, in terms of the country, is for me, and it's purely for those food things. And each time I go down there, I have a new highlight. And it's like I pretty much get the same thing. I got to hit the staples, and I'll try something that's a little different. But each time I go back, it's like, all right, the beignets were better this time. Oh, okay, this time the crawfish were a lot better, and so on.
See, I'm not a big fan of crawfish, and don't kill me, I had never been to New Orleans. I'm still working on it. So I'm thinking about booking the trip to see my boys down there. He lives in Pensacola, so I might make that trip down there once.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had not been there yet. I've heard about great things about it.
It's worth your time. I think it's worth your time.
I want to try some alligator. Do you have alligator down there?
I had alligator is my favorite animal, so I always have an issue with that, right?
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing. My understanding is, so you know how like for instance here, you have like rye whiskey. You have to have a certain percentage of rye for it to be classified as rye whiskey. So it's not going to be 100% rye. It might be like 51% rye. Gotcha. So that's the same thing with the alligator sausage. You'll get one and it's like, this is the acceptable amount for me to call this alligator. It's mostly pork or chicken. And then you have a bit of alligator like in the mix of the meat that goes into the casing.
That's disappointing.
Yes.
I never had alligator sausage. I've had alligator like fritters and stuff, and now I'm questioning myself that actually had anything in it.
It's worth looking at. I mean, but I don't know if you can even notice it. It's probably like whatever tastes like swamp. You know, like whatever swampy.
I've had frog legs. This is good. They taste like crab.
Really?
Meat. Yeah. Like the mussels. I mean, I'm hopefully we're not scaring anybody, but for talking about other animals and stuff, but they taste like crab meat, like lump crab meat. And I had it in the DR on my honeymoon, and it was delicious.
I was one True Chesapeake. They do that thing. I think they have that snakehead fish. I think they have that on the menu.
Oh yeah, I haven't tried that yet. It's an invasive species.
Yeah,
so they're trying to fish them all out, and I heard they're really good. So
it's on my list.
Try it.
It's on my list. I got to try it. So I got one more real question, and then I got a couple rapid fire questions for you. So
sure.
Let's hit this one real quick. Speak on the connection, converging like with food and music, and really I want to get to the root of it. What are you playing in the kitchen? Like maybe during prep time? What does that sound like?
Well, as a DJ, back in the day, I used to make mixtapes and then bring them to the kitchen and have everybody listening to it. But that got old quick because I couldn't keep up. I can't listen to the same stuff over and over again. But anyway, we not only does Cheezy Mike's try to strive on good food, we also want to build a vibe. Mm-hmm. We want people to actually sit down and eat our food and listen to some good music. And it works. And what we do there at Cheezy Mike's is I'm on my Twitch. I don't know what the word is. I'm a Twitch nerd, especially since I started it. I have 2 laptops and I hook them up to my TVs and I put the Twitch DJs on, all my favorite Twitch DJs, and put them through the speakers, and that's where the music's coming from. I've got to know a couple guys from Sacramento and Toronto that I show them love. They show me love. They give shouts over the speakers. People are like, where's that coming from? How did you do that? It's like they're right on the TV. That's live right now. So, now we try to feature Baltimore DJs and, anybody that's, as long as the music is kid friendly-ish. Ish, I say ish, but not too crazy. Yeah. No, but we play a lot of we go from house music. We do UK garage. We do of course hip hop. Rare grooves is a type of cool thing that a lot of DJs be playing on the streaming services, and old school funk music, like all the West Coast funk. Funkadelic, it's everywhere and it's great. I love it, all of it, and it also gives, if people are actually listening, it's like the original samples of songs. Yeah, that the newer generation are sampling off of, and these are the originals. And I love listening to the originals and finding the different parts of particular songs that go into the newer songs, and it's kind of neat. I don't know.
No, I dig it.
I'm a big nerd. I'm a big nerd with food, music, video games, and space. So,
well, I mean, you gotta like the stuff that you like, and there's some overlap there. So we're speaking the same language.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that we've established a fair amount of goodwill here. I think we're linking up here. We're talking food, talking music, we're talking all types of good stuff. Now it's time to get rid of all of that goodwill I've created with some rapid fire questions.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So what are 3 ingredients that are always in your home kitchen, like your home refrigerator? Like you always have this. I always got garlic. I always have. What are 3 ingredients that you always have at home?
Butter. Butter, garlic, and salt.
Good.
That's all.
What is the last song that you've played?
The last song that I played? That was last night. I don't know.
Or that you listened to today. I would imagine you've had the earbuds in today.
What was I listening to today? See, I'm going to kind of bore you. I was listening to sports radio. So I didn't really listen to anything today. Actually, no, that's not true. I was listening to Drake. They were playing a lot of Drake songs on the sports radio stations, as you know, their intro and outro and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what I heard that.
Okay, fair enough. Very light skin of you.
I listened to a lot of DC sports. I'm a big DC sports fan, except for baseball. I'm an Orioles fan, but
yeah, you get it. Yeah. Good news on that whole situation getting sorted out, because I'm a lifelong Orioles fan, and I was like, I'd rather watch them lose than not at all.
That is true. I mean, it's millionaires versus billionaires. It's still annoying between how they try to. I don't know. I could talk about that all day.
So the last 2 I have for you. This is a fill in. No, I'm going to leave the fill in the blank one for last.
Okay.
What are your top 3 cheeses? Like, what are your go-to 3 cheeses?
Blue cheese goes well with wings all the time.
Okay.
So no questions asked on that.
Okay.
I also love Gruyere cheese. I believe it's from Switzerland. I could be wrong. I can't remember.
I think Gruyere is French. Emmentaler might be Switzerland.
Yes, you're right. I think they make Gruyere cheese in different places, I believe. And then I like Vermont cheddar. I love cheddar. The agey, the better.
Yeah.
The more aged, the better. It's so sharp. It goes well with so much good sandwiches. It's expensive as a devil, though. Yeah.
We have similar cheese tastes. So I'll give you that. And I remember it was a go-to that no one gives me credit for, and it's a custom pizza. I used to get a thin crust with it's ridiculous. It was like regular, pizza cheese or what have you, the blue cheese, some broccoli, a little bit of spinach, and that blue cheese would pop so well. Something about when you change the temperature on a certain cheese, the flavor changes, and it's very good.
Yeah, that's why blue cheeses is the best.
I like how you ranked them, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, blue cheese with wings, it's just like, nothing more good than that, I think.
Last question I have.
Sure.
Fill in the blank. Being a chef means.
Being a chef means. What? Being a chef means hard work. It's a lot of hard work, and very satisfying. To be honest with you, I like how people like the food, and that gives me a good vibe.
Yeah. Oh, dopamine hit there.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all of the questions that I have. I want to thank you for being on the podcast. And
thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I want to invite you to tell the fine folks where to check you out and where to buy some cheese, buy some of your food.
So we are located in the Mount Vernon Marketplace, Cheezy Mike's Food Emporium, 520 Park Avenue. We are in the Mount Vernon district. We are inside that joint next to the local oyster and the Taps beer garden bar. You can also find us on the Instagram at Cheezy Mikes.
Yeah.
Just search Cheezy Mikes. And then our website is bemorecheesy.com to place your order through our Square menu, DoorDash, or Grubhub.
So there you have it, folks. I want to again thank Mike Boggs from Cheezy Mike's Food Emporium for coming on to the podcast. And I'm Rob Lee saying that there is food in and around Baltimore. You just got to look for it.